Everybody, welcome to March. And that means we have updated market information on what's happening in the real estate market. Let's jump right into it because it's been a really interesting February. I just got back from my annual conference and we talk about the North American and global real estate markets there. And what was really interesting about that conversation was when they talked about Canada and the real estate market in Canada, it actually was duplicated, replicated in the United States, and it had a lot to do with weather. Everybody was talking about how harsh January and February were. And as a result, the real estate market took a tumble because people just didn't want to shop when there was 3.5 feet of snow out there. And that continued. Good news is that as we head into March, we're going to see some positive temperatures and the snow melt off, and hopefully we'll return to somewhat of a normal real estate market. So let's talk about Simcoe County and what's going on specifically in the local markets. Now, February is very traditionally the lowest month, not always, but very traditionally the lowest month in the year for new listings to come to market, which we'll see almost across the board. There's a couple, shining stars out there, but there was a lot of low listings, and that included Midland as well. So we saw a decrease in listings of 30% in Midland. Sales did tick up, which was nice to see with such a harsh year. But what we saw is the average sales price year over year fell 3%. And that happened across the board in all of Simcoe County. We saw a fall of sales prices. Again, this is replicated in January. If you take a look at the data and dig down a little bit more, it had a lot to do with first-time home buyers coming back and scooping up those $400,000 to $600,000 homes. And so those properties are starting to move fairly quickly as a result of smart first-time home buyers and or downsizers coming back into the market right now. So in Penetanguishene, we saw the same thing. Lower listings, but an increase of sales month over month and year over year. But what we did not see is an increase in prices. So month over month, we saw the increase because those first-time home buyers in January scooped them up. But again, the average sale price in Penetanguishene dropped to 550,000 or increased to 550,000, but dropped year over year from 632. Tiny, it had an increase of sales, which was an anomaly. It almost had the same amount of listings month over month. Year over year listings were way down, though. But the sales were up year over year, which is positive news for Tiny Township because it has not had a lot of sales. And the average prices, median prices, have dropped in Tiny as well. Tay, very similar. We saw the listings increase in Tay. So there's one of your shining stars. The sales also increased month over month and about average on par year over year. Same with the month over month, 7, 8, 9 sales. There's not a dramatic change in the market in Tay, other than the prices are dropping a little bit. Again, those entry level homes are getting scooped up. Barrie, a lot of red in the year over year on Barrie. So we saw a decrease in listings, a decrease in sales, and we saw a decrease in the sales price in Barrie. And to be honest with you, that's going to drag the Simcoe County average down because Barrie is one of our larger markets, and as a result, that's going to drag your averages and your median prices down. And we saw the same thing again across the board on all properties or all locations. Collingwood saw the listing price, the new listings drop, and the sales price year over year falling 5%. Wasaga Beach, we saw new listings go down. Sales were down substantially year over year in Wasaga Beach, off by over 50%. But the sales price really kind of held firm year over year there, only a loss of 3%. And that's negligible in a real estate market. That's the difference of one or two big sales or small sales swaying those medians and averages. Aurelia, it's pretty much always been the shining star through 2025, and we're seeing it again in 2026, where it has new listings are up year over year and month over month. Its sales are up year over year and month over month, and the median sales prices are down only 4% year over year. So that's not a huge decrease compared to what we've seen across the province. Simcoe County, though, is seeing a lot of red in the year over year. So our new listings are down, sales prices are down. and the overall sales are substantially off by 23%. So what does this mean? Well, when we compare it to all of Ontario saw the same thing. We're seeing a decrease in new listings, a decrease in sales, a decrease in the days on increase in the days on market, an increase in the months of inventory, and a decrease in the total sales price. So across the board in Ontario, we saw a 7% decrease. Simcoe County fared a little bit worse than everybody else with 13% off of the average sales price year over year. What this means is that winter needs to go away so that we can have some buyers return to the real estate market. We're going to see a surge in listings in March and April. We're going to see a surge or a return in buyers. We already saw it this weekend at the open house that we held on Hugo. There was 7 people through on Saturday and 6 people through on Sunday. So we are seeing activity return as spring is right around the corner. So if you're a seller, it's going to be a great time to talk to your realtor, hopefully me, about what you're going to be doing to sell this spring. And a buyer, you probably want to jump back into the market sooner rather than later before you run into competition on those entry level homes, because as we move into the spring and summer market, we're guesstimating that there are going to be more buyers returning back to the market to scoop up those entry level homes as we've come to a price that makes sense to a lot of people. If you have any questions about real estate, you want to know what's going on with your house price, your local market, your micro market, don't hesitate to reach out. I believe that an informed seller and buyer are the most powerful type of person you can be. And I am here to provide information, no obligation. I do not want to pressure you. I just want you to have the information to make an educated decision. Don't hesitate to reach out.